You know, having a best friend can be one of the best parts of growing up.
Marty Maloney, I'm thinking of you. So how can kids, especially new students, help cultivate friendships that will be happy and healthy?
We're going to get some tips now for parents from psychologist Dr. Saunders. She's checking in with us this morning, and today's a special one, isn't it?
Absolutely. How many episodes, Doc, is it now?
Over 500, that's all I need to know.
Exactly. Congratulations. It's been our pleasure having you.
I love being here, and I love talking about mental health topics with all your viewers, and it's so important that we talk about these things because as we start the new school year, it is really, really important that parents understand the value of nurturing and cultivating friendships, and it really starts at home.
All right, so what do? You bake the kids some cakes and say, be my son's friend? How does this work?
Okay, so it starts by being a role model, right? I actually encounter a lot of parents who don't work on friendships themselves. So therefore, the children don't see that friendships are of value. So as parents, it's about cultivating friendships, having things, people that you care about. Family's important, but having friendships as well. That's where it really starts. And for some kids, being social comes natural. For others, it's more problematic, or it's a skill that they need to learn.
All right, so this is a great topic because we kind of live in a day and age where a lot of screens are ever present.
You got that right.
And, we want our kids to just go out there and play outside and, maybe fall down a little bit and know how to get back up again. How much of the give and take should we give them when they're trying to maneuver these friendships?
So that's a great point, Nicole. Right, so much of young children's lives are through, multiplayer video games or the phone or online forums, and they're not getting enough practice interacting in real life. So the more you can do that, the better. I do highly recommend that parents, to the best of their ability, let kids sort out conflicts. Conflicts are part of everyday existence, and you need to know how to tolerate conflict and sort it out. And that doesn't mean you don't talk to your child about what happened, what did you do, what did the other person do, right? You can talk it through, but you don't call the parent, intervene, interfere. That's really not the best way to handle the situation.
But you suggest arranging play dates, is that right?
Yeah, for young children, they're not going to necessarily be able to do that themselves. Gone are the days where you lived on a street where there was 25 kids and your parents just tossed you out the door and then you just ran and found some kids and played in the park. So it does take some effort to bring, especially for younger children, have another child come over, let them play. You can maybe set up a scenario for them. Oh, here's, you can play outside, you can do this, but I don't want parents micromanaging the play date, just setting up the experience.
Yeah, the millennials now, we're trying really hard to just inch away. It's hard. And the other part I think a lot of parents worry about is we want our children to have an open dialogue with us if there is conflict or if there's something that doesn't feel right with them in these new relationships they're developing. Is there any tips on how we can, work on ourselves so they feel comfortable and safe coming to us?
Yeah, I always like to start with an observation. It seemed like when you were playing with your friend, you were really happy, right? Or you laughed a lot, right? You just share an observation. Or it seemed like when you were playing with your friend, you both were kind of shouting at each other, right? So you start with an observation, and then you see what that leads to. You don't tell them what they're feeling or what's happening. You start with an observation, and from there, it's with older kids, how was your practice today? Because I love sports and other activities as a way to meet friends, because then you automatically have something in common.
Right.
All right, let's flip the tables here. My friend David smoking a joint in the 8th grade. My mother was like, what is happening? How do we steer our kids away from certain kids?
Okay, so that gets really tricky. And the hard part is that you want your child to be able to navigate those experiences on their own.
Oh boy.
So
that's
you
hard.
can say, what happened, because, whether it's smoking marijuana or getting involved in alcohol, we all know that high schoolers are doing these things. And so it's how do you navigate it? Did you try it? How did it make you feel? Is that something you want to continue doing? Right? That's not part of our value system, whatever, or it is part of our value system, because oftentimes parents cannot confront something that they are doing themselves. And that's a kind of bigger issue. But to just have the conversation, the reality is young people are going to be exposed to these things. Parents are not going to be on their shoulder managing it for them. So they need to be able to manage those interactions on their own.
That is, I'm not looking forward to kids getting older. Stay young forever.
Stay young forever.
I mean, on a very minuscule level with where my kids are at age-wise, my son will go, well, how come, little Johnny can play video games and we don't have video games? And I say, well, because certain families have different kinds of sets of rules than we do,
Absolutely.
And there's no right or wrong, but it's just different. Every family has their own sets of rules. Is that a good direction to take or narrative with my son when he's comparing?
That's a great direction, right? You can say, well, in their house they do those things, but in our house we do these things. Just like the rules are different, in school, this is the way you do things, and at home, this is the way we do things. We all need to learn, children need to learn that there are different rules for different situations. The rules in a library are different than the rules at home. The rules of playing outside are so different than the boundaries at home. So the more you have those experiences, you realize that there's different expectations in different settings, and that's okay. So same thing with when you have two parents that are split up. The rules may be different in parent A than in parent B, but in our home, this is the way we do things.
All right. Well, 500 episodes plus. Congratulations. We love you. We look forward to speaking to you next week.
Thanks, Doc.
I love to be here.
And we'll see you
Have a
on
great
Wax
day.
next.